What's going on, guys? My name is Omega and welcome back to another Apex Legends video. So today I wanted to explain the brand new good as gold story from the Outlands that we just got an hour ago. Hopefully this video helps to explain what's going on, as well as including some of the backstory that we've gotten on King's Canyon. And at the end of this video, I'm also going to be doing a prediction of what I think this means for the future of Apex. So this story from the Outlands starts off with younger Fuse, as well as one of his friends who apparently broke into some kind of burial ground where dead Salvo fighters were kind of just laying on the ground. Some of them were burned up, others were just skeletons on the ground. This girl, however, finds a golden grenade from one of the bodies of these Salvo fighters, which the two kids steal and run off with. Now obviously we know from this trailer that the young boy, as well as this guy with the mustache, is Fuse. What you might not know is that this girl is a part of the Salvo MC. You can see the logo of this on her jacket towards the end of the trailer, and obviously it matches up with the same logo that we saw that Apex posted to their Twitter just a couple of days ago. Now in the first scene, when Fuse and this girl are grown up, Fuse is wearing the golden grenade around his neck. This is definitely an important detail that is probably going to make sense as this trailer goes on. So the first grown-up scene of Fuse and this other girl start off with them doing an old-fashioned game of rock, paper, scissors to see who is going to be the distraction and who was basically just going to kill everyone. After Fuse loses the rock, paper, scissors, we can see that the girl has the grenade strapped to her pants as she's mowing down enemies with a minigun. The next scene starts with the girl trying to disarm a bomb, but is ultimately failing. That's when Fuse takes the grenade from her, kicks the bomb away, saving them both. Afterwards, Fuse and this girl are watching a bone cage boxing match. Now, I believe this specific scene is showing us how the two aged over time. You know, as you can see in the first scene, Fuse and this girl are getting along very well together. She's kind of got her arm around his shoulder. And in the next scene, they look a little bit older and they're not really as close to each other. Now, right after the scene with them in the boxing match, Fuse and this other girl go and apparently rob the place where the boxing match is being held. You can see they're stealing money, and Fuse also steals the champion belt, in which afterwards the girl runs off with a grenade because I guess they were betting, whether they would actually get caught. And Fuse, being kind of dumb, broke through this glass, which obviously set off a ton of alarms. The girl took the grenade and ran off with it because Fuse, I guess, is an idiot. Again, after this, we can see the girl bets the grenade back to Fuse if he was able to beat this giant man twice his size. He does, and the grenade goes back into his possession. And right after this, Fuse and this other girl are in a bar meeting with someone who offered them a trunk load of money for something. One thing that you can actually notice in this scene is that Fuse isn't really paying attention to what's happening. He's actually staring at the TV as it says "Fight in the Bone Cage." Now, for whatever reason, the girl took this time to spit flaming alcohol at this guy who was offering them money, which caused a giant bar fight, and then the girl left once again with the golden grenade in her hand. Now, if you guys haven't noticed, Fuse and this other girl have kind of an interesting relationship where throughout this whole story from the Outlands, they're basically betting this grenade back and forth. Or I don't know if they're necessarily betting it, but it seems like when one person does something better than the other, that person ends up getting the grenade. This would continue until the other person won the bet, or I guess didn't mess something up, in which then they would have the grenade at the end. Now, one of the very last scenes in this trailer, we see Fuse finally entering the bone cage boxing match for the first time, and he ends up winning, becoming the champion. This was one of the last times that the golden grenade was given back to Fuse from this girl. At the very end, you can see the girl, I guess, in her house watching the TV news broadcast. Now, I didn't hear this girl say what her name was anywhere in this trailer, but according to a lot of people on Twitter, her name is Maggie. And one thing that you can notice is during the fighting scene, that one guy that Maggie spit fire at is sitting right in front of her. So it looks like despite them getting into a huge fight, when he first offered her money, he still ended up working for her, which shows kind of this weird relationship on this planet. It doesn't really matter what kind of confrontation you get into with someone, doesn't matter if you almost kill them, there's still a chance to work together some way in the future. At the very end, you can see the girl, I guess, in her house watching the TV news broadcast that announced that Salvo was going to be joining forces with the Syndicate. Now, for those of you guys that have been paying attention to the in-game teasers that we've had the last couple of days, this point in the trailer is kind of matching up with where we're at right now. As you guys know, the inauguration ship is on King's Canyon right now, broadcasting that Salvo has officially joined forces with the Syndicate. For this girl to see that on her home planet in real time was a pretty big deal, because we know that Salvo as a planet has been against the Syndicate since they created the Apex games after the events that followed the end of the Frontier War from the Titanfall series. Fuse then comes in being kind of cocky and says that you're looking at the first Salvo fighter to join the Apex games. He goes to give the grenade back to her, basically kind of saying that their time together is over. And I guess he was giving it to her to also show that she ultimately won and deserves to keep it. This is when the girl betrays Fuse and pulls the pin to the grenade. They fight for a second before Fuse gives her the pin to the grenade, saying, "You're gonna need this." I don't think he actually thought she was gonna do anything with it, but he started to walk away, and instead of her putting the pin back in the grenade, she just tosses the grenade at him like a savage, blowing up half of her house with both of them in it. At first, you can see she thought that she killed Fuse, which was the point of that entire situation. Killing Fuse would have potentially stopped the alliance of Salvo and the Syndicate, but when she realized that Fuse was still alive, she screamed in agony, knowing that Salvo had been lost to the Syndicate. Now, that's basically what we had for that trailer. Now I just want to talk to you guys about what my predictions are for where this is going to be going in the next couple of weeks. So, as you guys may know, in one of the GIFs that Apex posted for this new trailer, you can see the blackout photo of Fuse, as well as the Leviathans and the inauguration ship in the background. Now, many people, including me, are predicting that someone from Salvo, most likely that girl that we saw in the trailer, is going to destroy the inauguration ship that is floating over Kings Canyon in order to rebel against the Syndicate. The reason we think that is because in the image, the ship is pointed downwards, and it kind of looks horizontal to the Leviathans that are on the ground. So there's a good chance that this ship could crash on Kings Canyon, and this might be like a new point of interest that we have on the map. Also, I don't believe that people on Salvo are going to be quite happy that Fuse is partnering with the Syndicate. Probably the majority of them do see him as a traitor, so there's a good chance that either the Salvo MC group will kind of be appearing in the future storyline, or maybe someone specific is going to come back to try to take Fuse out in order to disrupt that new relationship that they built with the Syndicate. Now, that basically concludes today's video. Let me know down in the comments below what you guys thought of today's trailer. I'm sure we're going to need some more information before we can accurately say what is going to happen exactly, but I think this trailer did do a good job explaining all of the background teasers that we've been getting these past couple of days. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace out.